Game worlds today feel more alive than ever, and it's not because of graphics. It's not ray tracing, it's not 4K textures, and it's definitely not because games got bigger. It's because developers finally started focusing on something way more important: behavior. Whether that changes how people act, wildlife that behaves like actual wildlife, NPCs with routines, relationships, and consequences. The games doing that best are Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Cyberpunk after its massive AI overhaul. They all share one thing. They're built around the idea that a world should exist without you. So today, we're breaking down how developers make that happen. For a long time, open world games were basically giant theme parks. Beautiful, impressive, full of things to do, but nothing actually moved unless you pressed the button. NPCs stood in place until you talked to them. Animals spawned when you entered the zone. Weather was just a visual filter. Everything existed for the player and only when the player was watching. And even if players couldn't explain it, they felt it. The world looked alive, but it didn't act alive. That's the gap modern games are finally closing. One of the biggest reasons game worlds feel alive today is because the environment finally behaves like a real system. Take weather. In Red Dead Redemption 2, a storm isn't just a cool visual. It changes animal behavior, NPC routines, even the mood of a town. The world reacts to the weather the same way you do. Wildlife is another huge shift. Animals don't just pop into existence because you walked into a zone. They migrate and they avoid danger. It feels like they were already living their lives before you showed up. And then there are crowds. This is where Cyberpunk's updates really shine. Night City used to look alive, but not act alive. Now crowds react to danger, they argue, they behave differently, depending on the district. It finally feels like a city that's busy doing its own thing. That's the key. The world isn't waiting for you, it's already moving. The next big shift is how NPCs behave. NPCs used to be quest markers with legs. They stood in one spot, waiting for you to activate them. Now, they actually live in a world. In Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, NPCs have full daily routines. They sleep, work, eat, argue, and even react to your reputation. If you screw up, people talk about it. If you help someone, they remember. Baldur's Gate 3 takes it even further. Characters remember your choices, and they act on them, not just in dialogue, but in how they treat you later. Red Dead Redemption 2 does this too. Towns evolve, people change, your reputation actually matters. And Cyberpunk, after the 2.0 overhaul, finally joined that club. NPCs react to your weapons, crime, and choices. They fight, they flee, or escalate based on who they are, not just what you're doing. NPCs aren't props anymore. They're part of the world. Here's the part most players don't consciously notice. The world feels alive when it's indifferent to you. When NPCs don't stop their routine because you walk by. When animals don't spawn because you need them. When weather doesn't care what quest you're on. When a city keeps moving whether you're in it or not. Cyberpunk's updated Night City nails this. The world feels like it's busy doing its own thing. That indifference is what makes a game feel real. It's the same reason older games like Gothic, Stalker, and Morrowind still feel alive today. They weren't built around the player, they were built around the world. So, how do developers actually make a world feel alive? It comes down to systems, not scripts. Modern games run a bunch of simulations at the same time. Weather, wildlife, crowds, time of day, NPC needs, faction relationships. All of it is happening under the hood, and all of it affects everything else. NPCs use something called state machines. That just means they have priorities and needs. They decide what to do based on hunger, danger, time of day, what's happening around them, and that's why they don't just stand still anymore. And then there's world reactivity. The world updates itself based on what you do and what everyone else does. Cyberpunk's new police system is a great example. Instead of spawning behind you, it actually responds to the crimes like a real city would. It's not magic, it's systems working together. What's interesting is that both AAA studios and indie developers are pushing this forward, just in different ways. AAA studios bring the big stuff, huge worlds, advanced animation, crowd tech, complex weather systems. Indies bring the clever stuff, emergent gameplay, smart AI, worlds built around the player's choice instead of spectacle. And when both sides push in their own direction, the whole industry moves forward. That's why game worlds feel so different today. Everyone's contributing to the same idea, a world that feels more alive. Of course, not every game gets this right. Some NPC routines don't matter, some wildlife is just decoration, some weather is purely cosmetic, some worlds look alive but feel empty. And Cyberpunk is the perfect cautionary tale. At launch, Night City was broken, and the systems weren't there. It took years of updates to make the world actually behave alive. Looking alive isn't enough. The behavior has to support it. Game worlds feel more alive than ever because developers finally realize something simple. Aliveness isn't about how a world looks, it's about how it reacts and behaves. It's about worlds that move without you, characters who live without you, stories that unfold whether you're watching or not. And as more studios embrace that mindset, it means we enter a new era of world building. Not bigger worlds, not prettier worlds, but living ones. Thank you, and I hope you all have a great day.